My first skiing lesson was on my 16th birthday. Due to one bad experience trying on ski boots, I had been convinced that I would not be able to walk in them, let alone to ski. Trying to find a sport that suited me, due to my difficulties with walking and with balance, was difficult. But after a long and determined effort, my strength is better than it ever has been, and I have caught the skiing bug thanks to DSUK. I still maintain that the DSUK holiday I went on when I was 18 was the best week of my life due to the sense of independence and security the charity was able to give me by providing help when I needed it throughout the resort. I wanted to make this film as a way to reach out to others and to illustrate the effects that DSUK have on the lives of other disabled adults like myself, and perhaps to encourage others to take up skiing, knowing that there is help out there and people determined enough to make sure that you reach your goals.
Skiing is so different from everything else that I do in my day. Before I started skiing, I had the impression that it was just such a cool sport to be involved in, and everyone I spoke to loved it. I went out to dinner with a friend, and she said she'd been skiing over the weekend. I couldn't get my head around it. There's no snow around. Then she explained that she'd skied at a dry slope, so she fixed up for me to go to a session and introduced me to people who would help me. I did a couple of runs on the dry slope, and I loved it.
A lot of skiers and snowboarders that we teach that would never have imagined that snow sports would be, one, accessible to them, but also that the benefits that they get out of it.
I started skiing because my kids started.
Yeah.
And I thought, if they're learning, I'd better learn. So I started skiing as a stand-up skier.
Yeah.
And then, because I've got MS, as that got worse, I then couldn't stand up for long enough. So I changed to sit skiing because otherwise I couldn't have kept going. Standing up, it's too much, takes up too much energy, and also my balance is pretty awful. Although that's not great for sit skiing either, but it's I just didn't have the energy. So I used to be able to stand up for about 20 minutes. I'd ski for 20 minutes and I used outriggers, so skiing 4-track.
Yeah.
And I used to ski mojo. To support legs and things. And I managed to do about 20 minutes. Then I'd sit in a cafe for an hour and a half whilst they went and did their runs. They'd come back and get me. So basically I'd ski to coffee break in the morning, they'd come and get me, then I'd do another run to lunch, sit there for another hour or so. And then if I was lucky, I'd manage to do it one more time in the afternoon. So I'd spend an awful lot of time sitting around, being left out. So when I went sit skiing for the first time, I was able to, because my son, who's now grown up, when we were out there, he did his sit ski pilot course.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get tired and I've had enough, because I still get really, really tired, he then pilots me. So we were out all day as a family.
That's a really big part of the teaching that we do. I think that a lot of the people we teach will never be fully independent, but we can at least increase the level of their independence. I mean, all the equipment we use, I think we aim to use as little as possible that gets them on the slope. If they don't need to be in a sit ski, we won't put them in a sit ski. If they don't need riggers, part of what we aim to do is we'll give you as little equipment as you need to start with, and then just try and take it away as you get better, because you don't need it anymore. Your skills improved.
Yeah.
And that's a good measure as well, because the clients can see, I used to have two stand-up riggers, now I only need one.
We're always looking for ways that people can improve the lifestyle and improve their physical health, but also their mental health as well. And snow sports definitely gives that gives that. It helps. I've had a lot of people contact me desperate to go skiing again because they've noticed a deterioration because of the current situation. Because they're not using their arms, they're not using their core, and things like that. So yes, we're always looking to improve, and we're always looking at opportunities of, well, actually, what can we do that will give the byproduct of that better health.
But when it comes to teaching people with disabilities, essentially there's something not working quite as it should. And part of the challenge is to work with that person to try and work out exactly what's not working, how to work around that, so you can still do what everybody else can do. Because I firmly believe that there's absolutely nothing that will stop anybody with or without disabilities from skiing.
Lying on the mountainside, staring at the sky, it seems like I could touch it if only I could fly. Breathe in, taste the sweet cold air. It cleanses me of fear, of pain, of stress. Turn right, turn left. I choose my own path, follow where the mountain leads. We are one, the mountain and I. The snow chatters to me underneath my feet. I hear nothing but the sound it makes. I think of nothing but where we go next. What does it mean to you, being free? I didn't know until I let the snow take me where it goes, until I knew nothing but the silence in my head, until I felt nothing but the shifting of my weight from foot to foot, as step by step the mountain and I became good friends.